Hello everyone, this is Mason Beuhring, and I am presenting my final project for Arts 578 in the fall semester of 2019. And so for my project, I chose something that is very near and dear to my heart, as well as my family's heart. And I'll just jump right into it. So the West Virginia Children's Home Society is a foster care agency that helps find permanent placement for children, whether that be with through reunification with their own families, other family members, or whether that be permanent placement with a foster family or an adoption. So my wife and I, this past year, we went through the process. We have become official through the state of West Virginia as a foster family, and so we could literally get the call to bring a child into our home at any time. And so through the past decade, this has been a huge epidemic that has continued to rise within the state of West Virginia. In the past decade, children in foster care have actually doubled. So currently there are roughly 7,000 children in West Virginia's foster care, so there is a high need. A lot of that is due to the influx of opioid addiction. And so a lot of these children are growing up, seeing addiction, victims of addiction themselves, as well as other types of abuse and neglect. And so I believe that Scripture mandates for us to take care of orphans and widows. And so I think that translates into fostering in modern day. And so that's why I chose this project. And I'll give you kind of a basic rundown of what you're going to see. My first deliverable is going to be a website. And I'll kind of show you the setup and the main motivation behind that, the main architecture in that, and then my second deliverable is an app that families who have completed the foster application would actually be able to download. They would receive a login, and that would basically track their progress through the whole fostering system, or through the whole fostering process of becoming an official home in the state of West Virginia. And so briefly, I'm going to kind of show you what Children's Home Society of West Virginia has as a website currently. This is their website. As you can see, there's just a lot going on here. You have a news feed with tons of information that doesn't really make sense. It's hard to navigate, hard to see what you're reading. You have navigation here on the side with tons of sub pages that are very difficult to navigate. It's really hard to differentiate where you should go, where you should start. There's no clear end or goal, and it doesn't help. It's not very user friendly. It doesn't help you go through. It doesn't lead you through the website properly. And then you also have navigation up top here as well. So a lot of this is redundant. So my goal was to make it user friendly, cut down on the navigation issues, and basically make it to where people could get to the information they need quick. So without further ado, I'll jump into my deliverable. So this is my home page here. If you scroll down, you can kind of see I have navigation up here. This is the primary information that I really wanted people to see, have quick access to. And then also on the home page, you also have access to important information, but not as pertinent whenever people are initially looking at becoming a foster family. And so that's kind of the architecture. Essentially what you're going to see is Tier 1 is the home page. Everything's going to be navigated off of that. And then as I click on these links, that's what I'll call Tier 2. So if I click on the About Us, it'll take us to the About Us page, which is Tier 2. And then from Tier 2 is going to break off into Tier 3, which is basically gives you further information. And so I really wanted to help people kind of trace through the website. Really easy, quick to find information. And essentially the entire goal is to lead them to complete a foster application. So I'll start here with the About Us page, and pretty much every single one of these links is going to take you to a similar page. So you have a picture with a title here, and then you'll scroll down and you'll see some icons here. And so this is what I again called tier 2. So the About Us page, tier 2, and then if you click here, this will take you to tier 3. And so each of the tier 3 pages, this is basically the setup. You're going to have your title up here, and then your information that's broken down and spaced, I feel, very nicely to where it's easy to read, easy to comprehend, easy to get to the information you need. And so if I take us back to the home page, and I'll take us to Losing the Generation. So this is tier 2. Again, you have your icons. You click here, how to help. This actually takes you to the Be the Change. So actually, let me take you back here. So tier 2 for Losing a Generation. Here's the facts. This is tier 3. It gives you a quick synopsis of some issues that are facing the West Virginia foster care. And so yeah, if we go to Be the Change, this takes you to how you can get involved with the West Virginia Children's Home Society. You can either foster, you can adopt, you can volunteer. Each of these give you a little bit of information on how you can get involved in the process. So what is fostering? And then this would all direct you to the foster application. And then same thing for the volunteer, how people can volunteer, get involved. So yeah, so that's kind of the basic idea. I just broke it down into 3 different tiers or 3 different levels within the website for people to navigate easily. This is the events page. This would allow you to know any upcoming trainings, any upcoming seminars, or any type of event where you could get further information. You have your news articles. This is where a communications director could go in and list articles here, that press releases, whatever to try to get people pushed to their site and basically push through the process to where they can begin to bring children into their home to care for. So that's kind of the basic website. This is resources. This is for resources for families that are inquiring about fostering, or even families that are currently fostering. You come into contact with a lot of issues. A lot of these children, each one of these children, have suffered something traumatic. Being ripped from your family is a traumatic experience, and so this is where a lot of the ability to understand how to help these kids work through these issues would come into play. So as I said, the main goal is not only to inform, but ultimately push people to fill out a foster application. And so the foster application is the first step in getting your foot in the door into the actual process. And so once you would fill out the foster application on the front end of the website, my goal is basically there would be a back end of the website as well as an additional app where families would receive a login and a caseworker. And so I'll take you here to, let me back up actually. Shoot. All right, here we go. So this is the home page for the app. You would see, so once you would receive your login and password, you can sign in through your email. You would receive your password and you would sign in, and this is the home screen. So here in the home screen you have your basic navigation where gives you the basic information as you're going through the foster process. And so you would have your name here. This could also be for families, so in this case we would be the Beurings. It would have our case ID. It would track our progress as we are going through the process itself. And yeah, this would be, a section where you could communicate with people that are also going through your class. You can, kind of chat about the past week's homework or what you learned in the past week's training. You could also chat with instructors and gain a little bit more insight or additional information. This would be a way that you can kind of keep track of a calendar for events, for trainings, and various things like that. Resource library, badges. As you continue and progress through, you would gain badges. So I'll explain here in a minute, but the core training that families go through is called Pride. And so whenever you would complete your Pride training, which is an 8-week training, you would gain a badge. And so basically this is a way to give people motivation to continue through the process, because it is tedious, it is rigorous, but it is definitely worth it. And then you would have basically your checklist. And this is as you check things off, as you complete different sections of your checklist, that would directly go up here, and this is how you would track your progress. This is how your progress bar would grow. So I'll show you this section real fast here. So as you see, this section will slide out. You still have your main page right here, but this is your profile section. Your help, your feedback, policies is kind of just the standard things that you would see in any app, your ability to sign out, but I'll take you to the profile here. So you have your name, your case ID as well. It's very similar to the front page, but you would have your address listed, your phone, your email, ability to change password, change username. This is basically where you would have your contact information up to date. If you changed addresses or something, you could go in here and actually change that directly, and that would update in your file as well as notify your caseworker. And so here is the bulk of what you would have to fill out. So as I mentioned, your Pride training. So Pride training is an 8-week course. So you'll see week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way up to week 8. And each training has homework that the family actually has to complete and turn in. And so currently it is all handwritten. And from that, basically the instructors have to go in and actually manually type in all those answers and keep that on record in your file. So this would be a way to decrease time, decrease resources. So paper, ink, different things like that. It would save money, it would save cost, it would save time, and it would save on human error as well. And same thing for forms. There's a lot of forms that you have to fill out. Currently, all of those are handwritten. This would be a way that you could actually go in and you would have the form title here, and you would basically be able to fill out all the fields in each of these forms. And that would be automatically uploaded to your file, and your caseworker would be notified, which would take a lot of time off of their plates. And then same thing for documents. You have certain things that you do need to upload to your file, such as driver's license, financial statements, insurance, proof of insurance. You have TB screenings, vaccinations, marriage license, photos, tax forms, etc. You have just a lot of different things that as a family you need to prove that you kind of have a handle on things. That way they know that whenever they do place a child in this situation, it's going to be a good and healthy situation that they can thrive in. And then on top of the Pride trainings, there's also additional trainings that you have to do, but they are generally just videos that you have to watch. And so those could just be listed here. And once you complete it, you would basically be able to have like a signature sheet that you would fill out, that you would type out your name, and that would be uploaded to your file, and that would increase your progress as well. So that's kind of the back end of the app. My goal in this, again, was to try to simplify the system that is so complex, so rigorous, to where it would take a little bit of burden off of not only the families, but also the workers in the West Virginia Children's Home Society. And so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about my project, feel free. If you have any critiques, feel free to email me at Beuhring. That's M as in Mason, B as in boy, E as in echo, UHRING at liberty.edu. And if you have any questions about foster care, feel free to email me any questions on that as well. But yeah, God bless. I hope you guys have a great semester. Thank you.